Welcome, fellow sport fans, to another edition of Half-Baked Sports. I am glad, even in spite of this whole coronavirus thing, to have my friends with me. And hey, we still keep it under 10. That's the rule. I got my friend Chuck on my right, Kendall on my left, and over there at the far end is John. We are here to bring you our take on the greatest points of the NFL news and maybe some stuff that's not NFL. And basically, we definitely want to hear your take on our opinions, as well as hear your opinions on various topics. Please send us emails, send us comments, anything. Let's get you guys involved. We got nothing better to do.
Yeah, right. Stay entertained as always.
To moving on, we are starting with the number one topic, the New England Patriots. And I know everybody hates to hear about the New England Patriots.
That team.
We mostly don't like to talk about the New England Patriots. But there is a lot of talk right now about them moving on from Brady moving on from them, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, what QB options they have outside of the QB Brian Hoyer, who is definitely a journeyman QB at best, maybe even at least. But to start this off, we are going to talk to the New England fan right over here on my right.
Expert.
And we'll leave it to expert. He does seem to have a good take on what Belichick may or may not do. So let's hear it from him, and then we'll give everybody else a chance to pipe in after. What do you got, Chuck?
All right, so with the quarterback situation, what we're going to go with is I strongly believe they're going to go in the draft for quarterback Hubert from Oregon. There have been talks about Cam Newton potentially coming through. I highly doubt it because...
Yeah, I agree. 9-year veteran, and he did struggle, whether it's an injury base or not. He plays too much emotion.
And then he's also a risk taker with the ball.
He does like to throw downfield.
Belichick likes a quarterback who knows. That's why Brady's been around so long. Good decision making and accurate. So with that being said, Cam Newton's neither one of these things. He's a hey, I'm gonna protect the ball in my hand, do what I gotta do. No, that's not gonna happen in New England. So therefore, meaning if they were to go outside, if they were to just get that type of quarterback, they would have picked up Teddy Bridgewater, who was younger and could take more, and he's a better decision maker with the ball. Yeah. If that was the case. But since Teddy Bridgewater's with Carolina now, yeah, Cam's out of there.
I agree. I think Teddy would have definitely fit the system better, especially with his time that he had to sit behind. Mm-hmm. He doesn't take as many chances, and he finds a way to work within the system.
I was going to say they wasn't going to sign a black quarterback over in Boston.
Well, they sound,
the reason they're not going to sign a black quarterback there because that, like you said, black quarterbacks want to run the ball, they want to take over, they want to manage the game on their way, not follow their coach's lead. I'm not saying
that's all about the numbers.
I'm not saying this is a problem. It's Belichick is like, this is my team. If you're not on board with me, I'm going to let you go. And if you ever watch black quarterbacks and white quarterbacks that scramble a lot, that run around, like you look at what's his name, Colt McCoy, Casey Keenum. They just like the young, fast black quarterback. They want to I can manage this game, I can take off. Those are the quarterbacks that he does not want.
Well, I did say black quarterback in the NFL in general. I mean, unless you have some supreme athleticism like Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, you're going to get hit.
You're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt.
You can't do that.
Belichick doesn't want his quarterbacks to get hurt.
He doesn't.
Cam Newton, while you're big, you're not as fast as you used to be. Belichick doesn't want to play with that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get like a Ben Roethlisberger over there, Belichick will play with that because Ben Roethlisberger manages the game. He doesn't try to take the game up under his shoulder and say, I got this, y'all this. He's not going to do that.
Well, Belichick's the commander, okay, but let's look at what's real time, real focus. Well, you just said, okay, but we're past times like that. Let's go to true facts. Putting numbers on the board is actually what matters. Everyone out there, sports fans, y'all know that as well too. Numbers is what matter. Race, color is out of there.
Look, I mean, the reason I said the black
just wanted to clarify.
I was just saying the reason I said the black quarter. I'm probably saying it the wrong way, but you have certain athletes that just want to I can put the game on my shoulder and I'm going to run with it. And then you got certain athletes that trust the coach's system and trust what the coach does. Mm-hmm. And when people panic, look at Lamar Jackson versus Tennessee. Once we panicked, it was done.
Yeah,
right.
Mahomes didn't panic, and he got the job done. You see the difference.
Right, but you're arguing. But then you're arguing Bill Belichick's point. The reason why I don't, Hold on, let me go back up a little bit.
Emotional quarterback. I said black quarterback. I'm just go with that one.
Okay, that's better because when you say black, he had Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett ran with the ball when he didn't see a viable option. He ran. He got a couple of yards. He made a good decision making. He ran the slide. He didn't take those hits.
You notice he's no longer in.
Well, but see, that was part of the Garoppolo trade. That was outside of Bill Belichick's doing because Brady wanted to stay there. That was out of his doing. Robert Kraft wanted Brady, and Brady didn't want somebody to threaten him. Both of them did. That's why they both went to be started somewhere else.
And I get it, and we all know that Brady had a big hand in
a lot of that.
In that, but take a look at the man. Who else approaches the game like he does? Who else is training
the ones that are
year-round?
not playing? The ones that are not playing right now approach the game like he did, and they are either. Peyton Manning had ran because of neck injury ran his course.
Yeah.
42 still playing. That's unprecedented. Period.
42.
He's 42, right? 43.
Tom Brady.
43 still playing. That's unprecedented. Joe Montana, Steve Young. You look at all these named quarterbacks way back in the day that approached the game just like him. The champions just like him. The ones who do not go to get themselves ready for the season. They go on these long holidays and doing all this stuff. That's that young stud quarterback. Oh, I put these numbers, I did this, and here I go, I be doing that. And then that's why your career will not last as long or be as legendary as it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to be smart with the ball. Like the one that I like to point to when I say is smart. Russell Wilson. Can anybody deny that he is smart with the football?
He gets down before that
He
hit comes.
is a student of the game. Russell Wilson, keep doing what you're doing, and I can see you playing
Got it,
20
man.
plus years.
I really can't.
Still running.
Yeah, still running.
running.
Because he hasn't gotten injured. He doesn't take
I
unnecessary
can't remember
hits.
when the last time he got injured.
He doesn't take
the hits. He
So-
goes down
So
before
look,
the hit comes.
As much as you have a point with these QBs that like to run and the run first mentality, and granted that works a lot in college because the amount of the difference between fellow classmates and fellow teams in college, the talent difference is so huge. But when you get to the NFL, that is a narrow margin between your talent and the guy next to you. And that's why it's so great when you see people that approach the game with the work ethic like Brady.
I just mentioned about that scrambling quarterback that takes chances to run. I forgot about the kid in New Orleans. I know they're not gonna let him go because he's the heir apparent.
Taysom Hill.
He's not the heir apparent though.
Yeah, he is. Taysom Hill.
Because they already named him.
Yeah, they already named him.
He would have been a Bill Belichick.
There's no way.
Yeah, he would have. He would have. With the athleticism of Taysom Hill, he would have definitely been over in the way.
That kid does not sit. The problem with him, the reason
they got him playing slash.
Right. The problem is with him is the reason why Bill Belichick would not take him because if that's the case, you would have kept Tim Tebow. Because the problem is
he never had Tim Tebow.
Yes, he did.
Tried him out.
The Patriots did have Tim Tebow.
They
had him.
They tried him out. They didn't have him.
No, yes, they did. He played games. Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. I have to pull that up.
Yes, he did.
I mean, I got to.
All right, well,
so
another time though.
But the reason why they're not going to do that project again because that's a Josh McDaniels project. Tim Tebow was drafted by Josh McDaniels in back in Denver. But anyways, back to the Hill situation. The reason why they could do it because he doesn't sit back and does his reads well enough to sit there. That's why he's running all the time. He drops back, gone. As soon as he sees the holes, he's gone.
Well, some of those were designed.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the design plays. I'm talking about when he has time to sit there and let Mike Thomas do his route. He doesn't sit there. That means he's not comfortable in the pocket. He's gone. That's why he does what he does.
But I saw Tyson Hill being used like Cordell Stewart / you line up here, you line up here, you line up here. He got certain plays. That was not every down.
No. I'm talking about when he was in the pocket, when he dropped back, when he had to drop back.
Too big.
We've kind of spent a little bit too much time on this, and I love the interaction you guys have, but you guys always have this interaction.
Right.
So
yes, we do.
We are going to try to move on here and definitely come.
I do have a question.
Obviously, I agree. Cam, he's too emotional. I don't think Belichick will go with him. Plus, he's 9-year veteran. Right now, Belichick is rebuilding. He wants to find the next Brady or closest to it. And I think that he's probably either looking to the draft or maybe some of these good game managers. I wouldn't put it past him if he's looking at Andy Dalton, but we've already seen Andy Dalton's best and worst. He may not even be on the radar. Winston
and Dalton have the same game. So
Winston with that 30 interception, and granted, I have looked into it, and the wide receiver did have a point. Some of those were tip drills, but still, when you put up that kind of numbers, I am interested in the fact that he did get the LASIK surgery. That could have been a factor, and I would love to see what he does after this fact. And he definitely is a solid backup, if nothing else. I definitely see Jameis Winston getting picked up at some point. After that, we do have the Andy Dalton is a free agent. Where do you guys think he's going to go? Kendall?
Andy Dalton been in the game for quite some time now.
What
Is
he?
Is he Patriots material?
6? No.
No, he got to be more than that.
I mean, he's probably a solid journeyman.
I think it's 8 or 9 years.
I would give him a heads up over 4 years.
He's 7 years old.
I'd give him a heads up over 4 years.
Here's my this is my hypothetical question, gentlemen, and to you fans. Does everyone see the Patriots being in the playoffs this season?
No.
Yes.
Verdict is out for me.
Now that we do not have Tom Brady, they don't have Tom Brady.
One is the division. The division around it is weak, but Buffalo did make some good pickups.
And
now
so,
we're gonna have to reevaluate this leading into preseason and maybe even after preseason, and we may have to do our pick'ems like we did last season. So my verdict is out. The Jets have made improvements to their roster. Buffalo's made improvements.
Miami will.
No, they've already done it.
The draft picks they got in the first
Miami. No, they picked up free agents. Miami picked up some serious free agents.
So all three in the division have made improvements.
Miami's the threat.
And with with Brady gone, that is a huge hole to fill. Whether people want to admit it or not.
But I want to go back
and nothing to take away Belichick. He is the defensive genius mind. And nobody can take that away from him.
I want to go back to what you said about Andy Dalton. I think he'll wind up somewhere as a backup. Miami. He will not be a third string. He will be a backup.
Oh, yeah.
Miami's a good fit
backup at minimum. I think
Miami's a good fit for him.
We may even see him
Seattle.
No, he started. He started.
We may even see
like I said,
depends on where he winds up at.
But like with me, I would say.
But you remember now, preseason is going to go down to 3 games.
Right. But what I would say is this: look, if I was Brian Flores in Miami, I would get Andy Dalton, draft Tua, have Andy Dalton start. Let the kid pick up some things. If Andy Dalton doesn't,
bring me Andy Dalton.
No, because Belichick's not.
Bring me Dalton. Let me see if I can
because
work with him.
You have,
he do got skill set.
Miami,
it's a Belichick.
Miami has the cap to do all this. Miami has the cap. That's why I said if I was Brian Flores, I would pick up Andy Dalton, get Tua in the draft, or Burrows, however you want to play that out.
Well, Burrows, if he's going number 1, he's going to Cincinnati.
He's going to
well, the Bengals.
They already said
when
somebody draft, trades up for
the
him.
reason Dalton is gone is because
I think they're looking at
when we do our draft segment.
What happened?
We lost our secondary camera.
When we do the draft segment, we'll go into detail about that. But because I was going to say Bengals should drop, but anyways. So if the Tua or Burrows, whoever's available for Miami in the draft, they should definitely get them. The reason why I say Miami should get Dalton is because that way you have your pocket passing, because you have to have a replacement for Tannehill. Tannehill was your staple for so long, and you can't just sit there and say, "Well, what system I'm going to run?" Well, you don't have a mobile offensive game.
You're only given one scenario.
With as good as the Cincinnati offense was, because they were good. They
weren't bad.
They never trash. I mean, they never were trash. And part of that was Dalton.
Right.
Now, how much of the losing was on Lewis?
I think most of it was on the coaching and the defense. I really put most of it on the coaching and the defense.
Well, and let's not forget Burfict's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
are we still talking about New England?
But I don't want to sit here and say Andy Dalton can only go to
so
Miami.
New England. This is the topic right now. We're trying to see which quarterback fits.
No, we finished. We're on Andy Dalton.
Okay, where does he belong?
Hold on,
John. Where does he belong, John?
Hold on, y'all.
I said Miami.
We're gonna take a break real quick so we can get this set back up, and we're gonna get right back to you on the same question with the answers. Give us a sec. Let me get to it too. My next one.
Oh yeah, right.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick Patriot era. Quick.
Yeah.
Brady or Bill or Brady? Who is the primary person?
Do you want?
And I want just quick. Give it 30 seconds. So I'm gonna throw it to us as soon as
All right.
And then each of us give a chance to give their take, just a quick 30-second, if can, maybe a minute tops. Quick, Patriot era. Who's the most Bill or Brady? Give a little bit of a reason, and then we're gonna cover that more in depth when we have a chance. All right. Also, a mental note, if you guys want to bring it up, Brady's backup is gonna be Blaine Gabbert.
Who the fuck is that?
Blaine Gabbert?
He was on San Francisco, sir.
Wasn't
Behind Garoppolo?
wasn't he like,
Behind Grop?
Before Grop.
Garoppolo
replaced him.
Yes, he was.
He replaced.
He ain't no name to me.
He replaced the Nil.
How's that new? Oh, you
All right.
supposed to be a
All right, all
49ers fan.
I am, but I mean, he didn't start, so
Yeah,
Grop
he
did.
did start. He did start in the 49ers. Yes, he did.
This not this past.
All
year.
right. Come on, give me a 3-second pause here.
All right, Chingo. With
All right, we're back, and the next topic, because we're closing out this whole Andy Dalton that brought us into a whole thing about draft class, and we are going to do an episode solely about the draft and who we think people are going to take, the number of draft picks per each team, and we're going to do our own little breakdown from a fan point of view, what we think, and hopefully get some involvement for you. So now we're going to move on to the next topic, which is the Patriot era. Who do you think is most responsible? Is it Belichick or Brady? Let's start over here with Kendall.
gentlemen and fans, to me, the B&B Belichick Brady factor has always been E equals to MC squared. Breaking that down without laughter, Belichick Brady factor has made Super Bowls happen ever since those two came together. Now that they're broken up, separated, they had a divorce, whatever. Now what's going to happen? Patriots get playoff spot. Okay, we'll see what happens. Belichick definitely holds the reins. He's been in the game a while. Brady, he's been in the game a while as well. The young era. Let's see how long he makes out at Tampa Bay. And Belichick, how much longer is he going to take his over and aboveness to where he's going to take the team next?
All right, but just give me a straight answer. Belichick or Brady? Who do you think is most responsible?
Belichick.
Belichick. John.
Mine's real simple. You can't get one without the other. I think they both are responsible, but if I have to say which one is going to be Belichick. If Tom Brady doesn't have the coaching when he first started, that coach had to get him where he needed to be. But Brady's just all-around game made it impossible for Belichick to find anybody to replace him after a while. So I think it was both of them, but it started with Belichick.
I have to agree. Being a rookie and having the drive that Brady did, and with that work ethic, I mean, I want to put most of it on Brady, because without that work ethic, without having a solid QB that studies the game like Belichick, you're not going to have the success that they had. But once again, this is the double-edged sword. Without Belichick and that genius defensive mind, they're not going to have the defense put together to put Brady in those positions. So I'm going to have to readdress this maybe further down the road and have a more time dedicated to this. But we're definitely going to let Chuck, the Patriot fan, finish this off.
Oh, so Bill BB.
Bill Belichick.
Bill
All right. So when it comes down to it, I think Belichick definitely has a slight edge over Brady.
Oh, no. It's a huge edge. It's a huge edge. I'm just being quiet because I got so many factors.
Your team!
But anyway,
That's
so
your
moving on to the
team.
next topic here. Clowney. We know that his time over in Seattle is pretty much over. He's now a free agent again. Thoughts of whether or not he goes back to Houston or possible landing spots, because Houston needs it. With JJ aging, what do you think? We'll go with the Texan fan here first.
He's asking for too much. Your body of work does not say you're worth 17. You're asking for what, 20 million a game? You asked for 19 million a game. Now you drop it down to 17 because ain't nobody biting. You should already know what you're worth. If you got an agent that's working for you and he's filling these teams out, and he said, hey man, we can get this much if you go here. We can get this much if you go here. We can get this much if you go here. And yet you're still saying, no, I don't want to go there. I want to go here. And I want the same money I'm asking for. You have to go somewhere. Otherwise, you're sitting at home waiting. Stop doing that to yourself.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's so completely wrong.
Figures.
Name another
Family.
Name another edge Or I mean, a speed linebacker at his position that's better than him. Just name one. Right now.
Whitney Merciless.
No, he. Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
What's the guy that played in Dallas?
DeMarcus Lawrence?
Okay, that's another one.
He was helping you out, Chuck. With him doing that.
So you're saying you're drafting your team, you pick DeMarcus Lawrence or Merciless over Jadeveon Clowney?
Yes.
Oh,
They ain't got no foot issues.
Because he left Texas.
Foot
That's
issues.
why.
Yeah,
That's not the entire.
DeMarcus Lawrence had less sacks than he did. So what are you talking about?
All right, here's the question,
DeMarcus
John.
Lawrence, I think he had one sack and he just got his big money. He just got his big money contract.
All right. So now that we've got the family rivalry going here, let's go ahead and give it to Kendall and Clowney. What's your take on the Clowney situation?
David Clowney, first round draft pick, Texans here. I forgot how many years ago it was, but he did get hurt. Third game, I believe it was.
No, he was injured out of college.
Yeah.
He didn't play his entire first year. He played only barely a little over half of his second year. He had a great year his third year because, he didn't play anything.
Right.
And so he knew he needed to get his stuff up to par because he was in a contract year. Right. And managed to get a killer contract. Now, he ended up getting traded to Seattle.
Yeah.
Now that his contract's up,
where does he go?
That
would be very funny and ironic if he did go back to the Texans. That would be funny.
That'd be almost poetic because I mean, if he started in Houston, comes to Houston, he may
retire in Houston.
Well, depending on his production,
I
don't think anybody's going to give the money that he's asking for in defense of John over here.
His all-around reputation that he's lazy. He was lazy here. He was lazy in Seattle.
It's not a matter of being lazy because if you take a look at how fast he runs and how much he pushes that edge, as an edge rusher, he is phenomenal. He gets the job done. The problem is that what I've seen, he is not as effective as a linebacker or dropping into coverage.
Yeah, he coverage is that.
Yeah, coverage.
He does. So it depends on how much you want to pay for a one-trick pony.
And like I said, 17 million is too much.
Well said.
I said
look,
17 million.
Clowney, we love you. You got a first-round draft. You were here in Houston. Houston loves you. If you come to Houston, give us a hometown discount. We might take you back. JJ's agent. We need you. So that's my take. What do you guys have?
Nope, because you have Bill O'Brien as a GM and coach. Therefore, you get as much money as out of Texas.
They can do that now?
Yes. No.
You can be a GM and a coach now?
Did you see the what's it called, Hopkins trade? He got no
pennies.
Get as much money out of this team. No.
Next team.
Next topic.
No, sir.
Next topic. Do a brief overview here. Obviously, some wide receivers making some changes here in trades. We have Diggs going to Buffalo, which I think personally it's a great pickup for Buffalo. I don't know what Vikings are thinking, but I'm not their GM. Hopkins to Arizona. Once again, don't know what Bill Belichick is thinking, but Arizona, great pickup. Yeah. And I have to say, I'm with John. I may have to buy a Hopkins Arizona jersey.
I will be buying one.
And third,
that'd be classic.
Cobb to Houston. I don't dislike the pick, especially since you gave away the number one receiver. But Cobb?
It's a horrible pick.
The problem with it is you got three slot receivers.
You already have three. You just added a fourth.
You have no real number one receiver.
Well, with his veteran status, I would have to give that number one to Cobb or Fuller.
They saying it's Fuller, but Fuller's gonna get hurt like the second game, so no effect.
You can't give the number one spot to neither one of them because they're all slot receivers.
So that means
they make all their money.
Stills?
No, even in Miami, Kenny Stills was a slot receiver. Parker was the number one. Remember that.
So do we draft?
We have to
draft.
You ain't got no draft picks.
They don't got no draft picks.
You got no number one.
Hopefully you guys have read my little post on Facebook where Houston, we have a problem. That kind of shows right there a snapshot of what we're looking at next season. And trust me, Houston, I feel for you. I'm not a Houston fan, was not born and raised here, but I feel for all the home teams that I'm in.
I want to add this here.
Well, without the tight end, they don't have a.
I want to add this here on the wide receiver situation.
Yeah.
The wide receivers who have lost, like what's the name in Minnesota? Thielen. Thielen loses his number one receiver, which is why he was open. Fuller and Steele loses their number one receiver while he was open. All these teams that lose these swat wide receivers moving around. The number ones are moving, not the number two. The number ones are moving. So that means that number two either got to step up or they got to find somebody to fill that number one gap so that number two can still be productive.
But the reason why they're doing that, and I blame this on New England, because everybody's trying to be like Belichick. I'm doing the most with less. And that's what they're trying to do. They've seen that for the past 20 years. But that's the problem. You have to realize that O'Brien is the number one candidate for this. Like you can't do what he does because you're not him. The reason why he can demand, hey, I know you're a veteran, but I'm gonna give you $15 million this year, and if you do better, I can give all the incentives because they know I can get you to the Super Bowl. I can at least get you a shot there. Bill O'Brien has yet to get out of the playoffs. I mean, the second round of the playoffs.
Even when Randy Moss was there, wasn't he number two receiver when Moss was there? Wasn't he number two?
When who?
When he was with the Patriots.
No, he was number one.
What was that name?
The only reason number-wise he was number two is because he was double covered or better.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought he was number two.
That's why they had a little signal. Every time they did one-on-one, he gave a signel. Brady went downfield.
Downfield, yeah.
What are y'all talking about?
Randy Moss.
No, we were saying Randy.
Oh yeah, Randy Moss is number one.
Randy Moss?
Yeah, he was number one.
Like I said,
Welker was two.
Breaker, they're bringing him out of retirement.
At the end of the day, all these number two receivers who just lost their number one receiver, y'all got to step up. It's your turn.
Yeah, hey,
that's all I can say.
keep an eye on the draft status. Obviously, some people are going to be trying to do some stuff with the draft, but as we know, rookies very rarely come in and play
And
dominate. It takes them a year to get used to the speed. It takes them a year to get used to the competition level, and then you start seeing the cream of the crop rise.
Yes.
So going from there, let's go on to the next topic. Next topic I have is QB competitions here this next year. Things to watch. Apparently, right now they have been on the record in NFL News article. Foles and Trubisky are fighting for the number one spot. So, who do you think will win? Let's start over here with Chuck.
That's the dumbest thing ever. So, did we not see the era with Steve Young and Joe Montana?
Hey, my
did
two
we not
favorite
go
quarterbacks.
through this? Did we
You're
not
really gonna
ever
compare
Neither
them?
one of these quarterbacks.
What I'm bringing up is this. The reason why I brought that up is when you have a QB controversy in your backfield, you don't win. You don't. It's just what it is. Until Trubisky and Foles, they're both. It's the same quarterback. You just paid twice for the same quarterback. I might as well win.
I have to give Foles a hair more respect than Trubisky.
But
struggles were pretty significant this last
But Trubisky played a whole 16 games.
Well,
Foles has not.
Oh, he played him very bad.
No, Foles has not. Foles has not played a whole 16 games.
Both times, Foles came in late in the season,
Exactly.
into the Super Bowl, and then got injured. What, week 2 or 3?
2 or 3. He gets injured early in the season to perform in the later season when everybody's already beat up and tired. So what are we talking about? You talking about? I would rather. Hey, you want lighter fire under the kid? That's fine. Cool. I'm fine with that. I just wouldn't get a quarterback who just got a high dollar contract somewhere else and eat that in my own. I just can't do that.
I got Cam Newton.
Exactly.
You would have settled
Cam Newton right now. He's looking for a job. You could have got him. But hey, you know what, Cam? I'll give you $20 million.
Here and give him Trubisky. That would be that makes more sense.
But the Foles Trubisky thing, that's not a quarterback controversy. You're gonna get the same thing no matter who wins. It doesn't matter.
Who wins?
The only difference is Nick Foles ain't scared to throw the ball down the field. Trubisky ain't scared to throw the ball short. Both of them throw interceptions. Both of them throw touchdowns. Both of them are inaccurate. Both of them are timid. You got the same quarterback.
It
comes down to really who got the better arm as far as deep pass.
I would say better field vision, but Kendall, you want to say before I end this out?
I'm not stuttering fans. Last thing I want to say about it, bottom line is when it comes to quarterbacks, let's go with productions, which will make salaries, because if you can't make the production, you shouldn't get the salary.
But
who do you think?
Trubisky. Then I'd be Trubisky
or Foles?
I go with Foles.
All right. Look, as much as I want to lean toward Foles, the problem with Foles that I have is that, like you pointed out, he has yet to play a full season.
Yeah.
And both times when he took over for Philly, they went on the record and said they simplified their offense, which means he is getting a dumbed down version of their offense where Wentz was getting the full scale offense. Now, that may not mean too much to the people who are not football savvy, but that is a huge. It's like a junior college to a full 4-year college type thing. It's huge. Now, not that Foles can't be that. It's just that he isn't that, and he hasn't been that. Now, Trubisky has basically had the full offense open, and if it comes down to it, I think Trubisky is probably going to beat him out in preseason. Now, watch. He struggles. As soon as he struggles, like every freaking head coach, they're going to pull him and put in Foles. Now, Foles is not bad by any means, but if they don't simplify the offense,
he's going to struggle.
Then he's going to struggle.
So, back in the game. Here comes Trubisky.
So basically, John is right. They're trading one QB for another of the same type. Now, who ultimately wins? We'll see.
Trubisky. I say Vince Young should be their third.
Oh, he's coming out of retirement now. You know, if you're gonna do that,
at the end of the day, Trubisky wins because guess what? Remember Chicago sacrificed a whole lot to go up in the draft that year to go get him. Exactly. So therefore, meaning all this is Foles is just lighting up a fire under Trubisky. Yeah. That's all this is.
Giving him some power.
That's all that is. That's all that is. Because Chicago spent way too much money and way too much time on Trubisky to sit there and just say, "Well, we're going to go get Foles."
And another QB competition that is to be watched here this offseason, leading up to the preseason, is Redskins. They say right now on record in an article, Haskins and Kyle Allen are going to be fighting for that number 1 spot. Now, Haskins has proven that he is not ready for the NFL yet. That was proven last year. They let him flounder. They let him. It was ugly. And unfortunately, Kyle Allen, in spite of some of his bad games, has played not poorly. So I'm interested to seeing how this plays out. And if nothing else, it's definitely going to give Haskins a chance to step up and really learn the offense, which I really think.
I debate that point simply because it's been on record where Jay Gruden says, I did not have Haskins' best interest when I threw him in the game. He said that on record. You can't. Well, we can't sit there and say.
Look, we already know he was thrown to the wolves.
Right.
And in spite of that, he did not have. I mean, he had some good things and he had some bad things. The question now is that both of them are fighting. Who do we think is going to win? And right now, I mean, I think it's a good for both because both of them are basically coming in at the same level.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of who rises to the top. I think this is great. I don't necessarily think that Haskins is going to flounder because now with all that bad stuff behind him last year, he has something to learn from.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm interested to see who wins this. I would like to lean toward Haskins, but we've seen too much from him to where he coming out of last year, I would give the edge to Kyle Allen. And we already know that Kyle Allen and Ron Rivera have a familiarity. Ron Rivera drafted him.
That's why Ron went and got
so that's why he went and got it. But I like it because being so close in identity, to level, QB level, I think no matter who comes out of this, they're going to come out better.
The only difference between these two quarterbacks is athleticism. Haskins had a little bit of edge on Kyle Allen. But Kyle Allen, to me, seems like he got this.
The heart, and maybe even
that matters. That matters.
That's a lot on the football field.
The main reason I'm disagreeing with y'all on this is because you can't, when you spend a first round draft pick on somebody and you invest the time and all that stuff into them, I understand Dwayne Haskins is not Ron Rivera's draft pick, but he is the Redskins draft pick. And unless they're going to go for another quarterback, which they're not because they got Kyle Allen and him.
And Haskins. They're not
and Haskins. I would rather, me personally, put Haskins as first. If the kid's struggling, that you already know what Kyle Allen can do.
Yeah.
You already know. So why would you put him up there without knowing what this kid can do? So you have a back.
They're competing. The question is, they're competing. Who do you think is going to win?
Well,
that's the question.
But what I'm saying is, I will eliminate the competition because I will give Dwayne Haskins his shot. Let him perform. Let him sink or fail. If he does well, then you wasted a good.
So you don't like the fact that he's allowing them to compete.
If you spend a first round draft pick on somebody, they should be automatically starting.
He's coming. Look, Ron Rivera's coming into it and he's inherited the bad egg.
Right.
Okay. We all know Redskins are right now a bad egg with potential but there's still a hot mess.
They'll
Ron
do that.
Rivera is going to right this ship. It's just a matter of how.
But I can say
Now,
the same with
on
Chelsea.
that note, I like the idea of the competition because it gets both of them to step up their game.
Right, but if
But what are you trying to say? Because right now the question is,
it's not
win it,
what
Haskins or
what
not?
I'm basically what I'm saying is it's not fair to Haskins because
I'm not talking about fair. We're talking about who do you think is going to win?
well, it's going to be Kyle Allen simply because he knows the system already. He already knows what it is.
Well, that may or may not be because Ron Rivera, although he is the head coach, he may run the defense. He does not run the offense.
I understand that, but,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is Kyle Allen knows Ron
Ron
Rivera.
But so that doesn't mean he knows the offense.
I understand that, but
So basically what y'all saying-
if I know you all my life and I just met him 2 years ago, right?
If both of them,
I'm gonna know what your habits are more than his.
That
So
is-
if you're the, if
I'm not,
don't
I'm
say
not
that.
saying that. But once again,
Don't
we're
say
getting
that.
off topic. The question is,
Who do you think is
we're
gonna
not getting
win
into
the battle?
Who do you think is
look,
going to win the battle?
fans, what
And
family's
you're not-
trying to
you're not
say.
giving me an
it's,
argument.
I said Kyle Allen's gonna win
But-
simply because he knows Ron Rivera. He
But
knows
that's
his
not
thought
even a
process.
valid. I don't think that's a valid argument because Ron Rivera doesn't run the offense. Ron Rivera, as we know, is a defensive-minded
Yes, he
head
is.
coach.
But-
He is going to run the defense, not the offense. He has an offensive coordinator for that. Now,
And that's
my
why
point is,
let them battle.
I
out.
like the fact that they're both battling out. I do give the edge to Allen because we saw a little bit more from him last year than Haskins. But that's it. I think the competition's wide open, but we're going to have to see what happens
But I
here
say,
in the preseason.
let them battle it out because they both young.
Exactly.
They need this.
They're both on
They
the same
need
level.
this. Let them battle it out.
Right,
See,
but-
the better man wins. People have fans. People are fans of players. People are fans of teams. I'm a fan of competition. Let them out there. They got 4 games to get it done and see who's the best. The best one stand up, the other one back him up. Because at the end of the day, if he go down, you're up.
Yeah,
But
you
you
have,
have-
Kendall, do you have any thoughts on this QB battle?
Just keeping it super simple. When you got 2 individuals that are battling it out, of course, if they're accustomed to the same culture, it's going to be a fight. So
I just got one point, so we can get off of this. Just one last point. Sorry,
keeping it simple.
just one last point.
They know the same
So-
culture.
Question, Kendall.
Allen.
Who wins?
Okay,
Ask
thank
him
you.
that.
Allen.
That's it.
One, just
Who knew that a simple question would be so hard?
Hey, I got my time in.
so
Yeah.
I just got one last point.
One more comment and we're going to close this out. Let's do it.
I just think that with Kyle Allen coming in, right? Oh shit, I lost my point.
Let's say it. Let it go. Next.
All right. And we'd like to thank you guys for enduring this debauchery here. And it is the final
I've been
note.
drinking too much,
And
man.
Kendall, did you want to
Oh,
take
my
this?
gosh.
You were the one that brought up the topic.
Oh, earlier.
Yeah.
Sports world, sports fans.
I know we normally cover NFL, but this is a little bit of an NBA topic
Well,
that
off topic,
is near and dear to a lot of people here.
Everyone give their hats off to Kobe being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Of course, we all saw that coming,
Oh yeah.
and just what happened here a few months back.
We all know
gotta
that
definitely
Kobe
get it.
is a great player. We all know that he has definitely earned a Hall of Fame status. It's sad that he could not see this, due to his life being shortened during that crash. But
Yeah.
definitely, we wanted to, even though we cover NFL and sometimes college, we wanted to bring this topic to you guys and let you know we're gonna honor him and acknowledge him as a Hall of Fame.
He was going to be a first round ballot
Anyway.
no matter what.
Anyway.
I just hate the fact they had to go in like this because you have a career. And I've never been a Laker fan, but I'm a fan of good basketball. And this man has always put out good basketball.
Yep.
He earned this. I wish he could have got on stage and gave his speech about his career, what his family did and sacrificed to get in there, his teammates, everything. Sorry, he couldn't do this. So this is our little way of saying
Of acknowledging you and saying to the Kobe Bryant fans out there, we are with you, we support him, and to the family out there, we are sorry for your loss. But hey,
Yes.
this is another way to acknowledge him and
Praises
uplift
be to
him.
Kobe.
And Kobe, you're going to be missed.
Yes, you are, sir.
All right. Any last topics before we close out?
Yes.
gentlemen?
Oh, he found
So
his. He found
I remember what I was thinking. So Kyle
Here we
Allen
go.
was drafted as a purpose as to being a backup, while Dwayne Haskins was drafted to be a starter. That's the difference. So if you're drafting a guy as a starter, play him as a starter. Let's eliminate this competition thing. If he doesn't do well, put the backup in. That's what Kyle Allen's drafted for.
Once again, the question was, who do you think is going to win? And yet he wants to argue something else, which we didn't ask the question for.
It's half-baked for a reason. I'm just letting y'all know.
But hey, this is true fan interaction that we want to capture and want to give to you. We're glad that you joined us, and we hope that you stick with us, and we'll definitely get more content. Coming up here in a couple weeks, we have to do our research, but we each are going to break down the upcoming draft picks, try to figure out what teams are going to take, what teams are not going to take, what they need, what they don't need, and hopefully have a nice little breakdown here right prior to the draft night. Obviously, that's going to be subject to whether or not we can get together at that point in time, but stay tuned. We will try to get that to you.
We want to get it done before the draft. Y'all check it out, and then when the draft happens, and y'all
see how close we are.
You guys gonna get our wait a minute, they should have did this, and then you guys can chime in and say, hey, yes they should have, no they shouldn't have. Come on, show us what you got.
Yep. And with that, y'all, we out.
Peace.
Half Baked Sports.